Sage for the S&L Farms out of Sherman, Connecticut. It's a 10-year-old Belgian gelding. David also a winner of the great classic, the American Invitational.
When it was still in Tampa.
At the big stadium.
Yeah.
So we'll see how he's prepared this time. He's had this horse for a while, and he's done some good things, some very good things with it, but I would still say he's a little on the I'm still learning, he's still wondering who I am kind of stage.
David has a lot of confidence in his horse. I watched it in the meter 35s, and it's made a lot of progress since then.
Yeah, I think when they put the formula together, horse and rider, he'll be a contender for any of these competitions. But he's been in the millions before. He's shown this horse a couple of times. A million events. An older style rider.
A little bit old school, but really an athletic guy, and can maybe throw style away once in a while and still be competitive, and really be effective on a horse. Big ride here.
His daughter has become quite a good rider.
She's had a lot of success with the hunters and the jumpers, but David was telling me the other day she's got a really good job in Houston, aside from the horse business. So she's become a civilian.
Oh, no. Always been the assumption that once you're in, you can't get out. At least that's been my experience in 45 years.
David's 2 away here.
Yeah, he is. I think he might just be making it happen here, and he'll be a happy man as well as the S&L Farm. Good
I'll tell you what,
David.
That
Okay.
was a great ride.
Nicely within the time allowed. He's the 9th to complete the course.
How about another clear round to the right of our Americans as David Raposa.
S&L Sage, David Raposa. Kyle Dewar comes up next out of Ocala, a local rider. It's a good record in the Midwest, 2 times a money earner this season, and he's on Gomez van der Withove, an 11-year-old Belgian gelding.
Kyle worked for me for a couple of years, and he and his wife run a sales business here in Ocala, and they go through a fair amount of horses, but he's trying to find one that'll work for him, and I tell you what, you got to give him credit. This horse, I think, might be the one.
6 Grand Prix ribbons over the course of the last year. It's his own entry, the 11-year-old Belgian gelding, Gomez van de Withove, up next.
Incredible plethora of breeds, and within the breeds, this being a Belgian horse, within these breeds, there's just so much diversity in the look of the horse and the style that they jump. And again, it all comes from across the pond. The Americans just for some reason have not engaged more heavily in the breeding.
Kyle worked for a while in Sweden with Bruce Gooden, rider from New Zealand. It's quite famous. Whoops. Just ran out of a little scope there.
So Gomez up to 8 faults now. Back to the breeding, we just don't have enough people that engage in a full-time exercise. Andy Porter rode horses for Barbara Ellison's Wild Turkey Farm. And Barbara has a beautiful breeding facility, does a great job in Oregon, but not quite to the scale that the Europeans do, where there's 100 mares and big fields.
I think we were late. We were late to the party. You know, if you remember, Clay Running was one of the first ones to breed warm bloods in this country. And back then, the thoroughbred was still competitive. Nobody really got on board with him. You know.
There's a dozen faults in 85 and change, total of 12. Today's event is also being brought to you by Ride TV Sports on Ride TV Go video platform, showcasing the horse culture and lifestyle. Ride TV Go delivers live broadcast streaming and a great selection of on-demand video content for people who enjoy and care about horses. You can get a free 7-day trial when you sign up at ridetvgo.com. Let's go to Texas now, to Spring, Texas, for the Augusta Pines entry Zero Leon, a 13-year-old Dutch gelding. Martijn van der Hoven is the rider. He's enjoyed a number of Grand Prix victories. Most recently on this horse, he won the Fox League Grand Prix here in Florida.
Martijn does a great job with these young horses, bringing them along. He had one of the few Thurbers that was still doing the Grand Prix for a year or two. Spent some time in Canada, originally from Kansas.
Well, Toto didn't keep the
plank come down.
Flank up. So unfortunately, there's another one. Quick 8 faults here for Martijn. Real gentleman. Another one of the riders who's always immaculate in his turnout, and his horses are always beautifully groomed. Quite the gentleman.
Yeah, I think this horse, this is probably his first attempt at a meter 60. He shows in Texas a lot of meter 50 classes, meter 45, you know, and it's a big step up sometimes. But he'll get a lot of confidence out of this trip. Even though so far it's his 12-fault score. 12-fault score. Rode the scope into him in that line.
And the last one down for a 16-fault total. Not his best day, but certainly contenders when we get to classes that may not be quite as difficult as this. As you say, pretty effective at a meter 50, still looking to be able to capture the meter 60 height. Juan Manuel Gallego, now out of Fort Lauderdale, Florida. This is Kulash van der Broy Zed, an 11-year-old Zangerside gelding. 2 times money earners this season.
The 11-year-old Zangerside gelding in the show is...
He was second in the $100,000 Sullivan Chevy truck Grand Prix here. Last year he had a great year, 10 times a money earner. So he's in the 29th position, Kulash van der Broy Z.
Representing Colombia, an international flavor that we have in this class.
And that's great to see that, you know, I'm sure that if you live in Colombia and you get a chance to come to Florida and ride for $1 million, you want to get on that airplane as soon as you can.
There you go.
With the number of international riders that are choosing to come to America and kind of share their efforts between America and Europe, it's great to see that they're coming here, because they won't be able to jump for this much money anywhere else.
Does a nice job. He won the gold in the FEI World Class in Caracas, in his home country. He's not exactly a novice at this, and this horse is actually jumping pretty well. Got a little casual with the pair jump. Well ridden there, Mike.
A bit of a stumble. Hopefully he'll recover here. See how he gets over this wall and then gets in. He's a little bit deep, maybe.
It's pretty slick. If you don't override the wall, you can make the 2 strides work.
2 away from a 4-fault score. We'll see how his time fits in. There's a lot of 4-faulters. It'll be in the low 80s.
It was a nice trip, but it's unfortunate we had that front rail.
I don't know about that time.
So that he just got after the 2 verticals. I think he got just a little casual there. The horse did. And Juan put him to a good spot. He just got a little casual with his front end, ran out of room at the front of that pair oxer. It's quite wide, and it's square. So
Here's his actual time. It was 82.500 rather than the 84 that's shown. 82.500 is the correct time for Kulash.
there's a Canadian for us, Mike.
Granturo, an 11-year-old Belgian warm blood, owned by Western Sales and Development. Hyde Moffat out of Brantford, Ontario, Canada.
Hyde's a really hard worker. You'll see him in the mornings. He runs probably 8 miles a day. Just a really fit guy and a nice guy to be around.
Most of his success coming in Canada. Last year, 4 times in the money in major Grand Prix events. On the track to our neighbors in the north. That's the first time that Purina has come down.
This one looks like he may be a little overfaced here. Didn't jump the second fence. He left it up, but not with a lot of authority.
Planked. Yeah, it's. I think it's probably the biggest thing he's faced, at least according to his records.
He's getting a good ride. He just looks like he struggles a little with the scope. Slipped through there pretty good, Mike.
Yeah, he had me very worried at the outset over the triple bar. He's a crafty horse.
He's actually getting more confidence as he goes here.
Yeah, he's a crafty horse.
Front rail of the Oxford again. I think Hyde, in his effort to ride the scope into him, sometimes he runs out of room with this horse. There's that same ride to the combination. If you override the wall, you're going to have the out down.
Yeah, I think at this point he's just hoping to get through the course.
But again, you know how much the experience for this horse, when he goes home from here, he's going to be that much further ahead.
Yeah, definitely. 16 faults, 82.663 on the clock with Adrian Iverson coming up next on Donar J, owned by Redfield Farm of Califon, New Jersey.
Adrian's had a ton of European mileage as well as mileage here in the States. Riding for Emil Spadone. She's got the opportunity. She's done Saugerties a few times, and she's been in these $1 million classes quite a few times.
This is our 31st of the expected field now of 49. A long afternoon of first round jumping. This being the second leg of the HITS Triple Crown of show jumping, brought to us by Great American Insurance Company, America's top equine insurer. Seat, they are building some impulsion.
Adrian's doing a good job with this horse. Occasionally he gets building a little bit on course. He gets a tad unrideable, but I think this height jump holds him pretty good. See how she gets through the combination here. Oh, got lucky there.
Sure did. Drifted a little out. Direction straight, but not straight enough to the rainbow.
That water might have. But you can see he's got all the scope in the world. He just gets a tad unrideable for Adrian.
Big Giver could be in trouble.
There it is, that same idea. If you come in too strong, you don't get out.
It's not rocket science there, is it?
No.
However,
I think
a lot easier to say it from the booth than it is in the sound.
But yeah, I never make a mistake in these Levi's.
That's right. There's a few more points on the scorecard there. I think it's going to be a dozen and 80.498.
But she jumped the first 6 like he was the winner. He just kind of unraveled after 7A BC, and it was downhill from there.
Here's Buongiorno now, an 18-year-old Swedish gelding from Showcase 81 LLC in Santa Fe, New Mexico. 14 times a money earner last season. Bryn Sadler, just 22 years old, from Santa Fe, is aboard.
This girl is quite capable. She's places like Houston, Santa Fe. She's a tough competitor.
Rides a lot all over the country.
Yeah, you'll see her everywhere. You're right.
Classic ponytail, Bryn Sadler, you know who it is. And I'm not so sure that she has Wendy Haig Sadler as the coach, but she is just everything. I mean, just in the fact that she had that many placings, you know, 14, and this is only one of her horses. She's a very busy girl.
Got a little casual there behind. Bryn gave him a great ride through the triple.
Nine clear rounds thus far. Money goes, I believe, to 20th. 4 falters in line right now for good awards. But there are a lot of 4 falters. Now separated by time taken.
This might be one of the faster ones.
Yeah, she's going to be fastest so far is 80.4. Here is, yeah, we'll get that time here in a minute.
A 4-fold score with a time of 80.440.
80.440, Mike.
80.440. And that is second fastest. 80.440, just in front of Evening Star.
So coming out of the corner, it looks like the horse jumped a good effort at the pair oxer, but it looked like he just got a little casual. Bryn might have been thinking about 7A before she got there and had to rub behind here at this vertical. Just got a little flat and a little casual. The horse did. Bryn, not necessarily a bad ride. I think he just wasn't as attentive as he should have been.
Here is Blues Your Daddy. Coming up next, Blues Your Daddy is owned by Kelly Robinson of Russell, Ontario, Canada. It's a 10-year-old gelding. Twice in the money here on the hit circuit.
Ooh, expansive behind there, Mike.
I wonder if he keeps that up. Must be having lunch with good luck to have that kind of hind-end action. Look at it.
A little tough. They got a lot of bridle on him, but up there it came unglued a little bit.
Yeah. It almost, if Shank got any longer.
Interfere with his front end. It's a good thing he's got a good head there.
Yeah, that's quite a bridle. Unlucky 4 faults early on here for Blues Your Daddy.
Plenty of scope, and Kelly.
Trouble here. And he's a magician.
Kelly does a nice job. She doesn't get rattled. She had the 4 faults early and she hasn't changed her riding plan. Got him to the bottom here. That's an unfortunate rail. Stayed patient at the wall. Oh, but she ran out of room as well.
Coming down home in front of our sponsor tent. Great American Insurance executives joining us here, as well as one of the top agencies, Marshall and Sterling. Mr. Dean joining us also.
So she should be happy with that trip. I mean, the horse
An
jumped
8-fault
great.
score, yeah, 83 and change.
I'd wager that that's maybe the biggest track she's jumped.
He sure jumped the first two like he was a world beater.
And handled the triple pretty well.
Here's 50 Shades, a Westphalian gelding. 3 times a money earner this season, 9 times a money earner last season. An amateur rider, Andrea Torres Guerrero.
Talented amateurs we get to watch here all circuit long. Andrea comes in aboard her own entry out of Waterford, Virginia. The 9-year-old Westphalian gelding off to show next. She's dialed into 6 ribbons in Grand Prix action.
There's the European hairstyle going for her. And attacked the first jump.
Fortunately, attacked the second as well. I think this might be, I don't want to say over our head, but
Andrea's not taking any prisoners over.
No.
She's going right to the jumps.
no, she doesn't look like a prisoner taken.
He's starting to get a tad unrideable here.
Doesn't look like he's much in the way of size, and there we go, the tone. We're going to have some problems here.
So the tone sounds.
I wonder if she'll actually attempt to do it again.
Looks like she's heading for the gate, Mike.
I don't even know if that's it or she forgot to. There she goes. She will withdraw, realizing that that triple combination.
He just got a little unrideable as he went, and I think it's, he probably did the right thing.
Well, I think the amateur division is a better home for that partnership. Not that she couldn't jump this, but we'll stay with the color gray, however. And here's a great name for you. Erges van Keizelhof.
Well done, Mike.
13-year-old Belgian gelding. Young rider. Great in the young riders competition. It's her first year in the Grand Prix division. This horse used to be ridden by Shane Sweetenham. And this is Claire McKean out of the Woodlands, Texas. She was 6th in the $100,000 class. Got another 8th prize. So in her first real year in show jumping at this level, she's done very, very well.
Here's another girl out of the equitation division. She was second in the medal finals in 2015, I believe.
Rides with Martine van der Hoeven, who we saw earlier. Has that hunter equitation look.
Got lucky at the plank. A little unrideable down the line. So the wheels are sort of coming off the wagon here after the first rub.
Well, there's a difference between, and I don't want to make this sound uncomfortable, but equitating, being a great equitation rider and then making the transition to something this big. There's a little bit more going on.
She rode that line beautifully.
Yeah, beautifully. A little bit more going on.
He just looks like he drags her through the front rail of the oxer sometimes. And
she doesn't have a lot of experience with this horse. The horse has considerably more experience than she has. And I think that when she
we're up
learns,
to 16 faults now.
she learns a little bit more about positioning and so on. I think her ride is just a little too soft. She's not quite used to adjusting this much. But nonetheless, a good ride for Claire McKean. Mike Moran alongside Dennis Mitchell here in beautiful sunny Ocala, Florida at the second leg of the HITS Triple Crown of show jumping, watching the Great American Million. And so far we have witnessed 35 rounds with 9 clear performers and a plethora of 4 falters. Werner Dieg from Germany is our course designer. An 88 time allowed has made it kind of a generous, easy ride time-wise. It doesn't make it any easier jump-wise. But we do have a stellar field of horses and riders from the Olympic Games to the World Cup to Nations Cups to the very best to the leading money earners. And they're all packed in here in this 49 horse field. Chanel du Calvaire. Coming up next, Francois Lemontagne from Saint-Eustache, Quebec. This is a 9-year-old mare, 3 times a money earner this season, 4 times in Canadian competition last year.
Francois, very active rider, sort of on the. I think Eric Lamaze is probably one of his idols. He tends to open up early over the top of the jumps. You'll see a little different style, but on a given day, he can be quite good.
You'd never know by the that he was from Quebec. It's great to have the Canadian riders in force here.
And the difference in the money, Mike, it's more expensive for them to come anymore than.
Well, maybe Pierre Trudeau will fix that. He and Mr. Trump may make a deal.
There. And you see, he got a little active there,
He certainly did.
and he gets to be a crowd pleaser in the jump offs. He's spoiled.
Yeah, he gets in there nicely. He'll hopefully save him. Don't ride him forward too much.
He has a tendency to be quite active, but he's pretty effective. Horses like this kid.
Well, he's 3 away from a clear score to make it an even 10. Keep it up. Not a big
One away, Mike.
course. Yeah, 1 away. His time is good.
All
And
right.
so is he.
And he's a happy camper. He's
Chanel du Calvaire and Francois Lemontagne. 10th to complete the course with no penalties.
you can see he's a crowd favorite when they comes in the jump off. He'll be those aren't
Yeah.
all French Canadians cheering for him. You know, there's a lot. He's got all that support here in Ocala.
Here's another of our neighbors to the south now. This is Ricoeur Coussel, a 12-year-old Celle Francais stallion. Emmanuel Andrade is aboard. Nations Cup rider. Also an award winner in the City of Ocala $100,000 event here. Riding for Mexico in Nations Cup competition.
And trains with Andrea King, who former trainer for Aaron Vale. This boy has a nice string of horses.
Little casual in that turn. I don't know if it's because he wants to prepare to this or it's his style, but I don't think he's going to be in jeopardy at the time.
But you can see this horse is plenty scopy.
Kicks out.
Needs to be
50
careful here, Mike.
Now,
Got it done.
I was almost worried about the time, but it's going to be okay. Could be adding another here. Looking very good for Ricoeur Coussel.
Stay patient. Good job.
And gets it done. Plenty of time to spare. 81 and change, and that's our 11th to go clear. Building for a tremendous jump off. Nobody loves him over there, do they? They love show jumping here in Florida. And they're getting just a tremendous serving today in every way, shape, and form. Here's Kingdom, an 11-year-old Irish gelding. Andrea O'Brien is the owner of Aiken, South Carolina. Christina Kelly is aboard.
I watched Christine as a junior, and I think she has dual citizenship, Mike. I think she's Irish and American.
With a name like Christina Kelly, riding an Irish horse, how could that possibly be?
Well, there you have it.
5 times a money earner this season, winner last season, plus additionally 7 times in the money. So a combination that's done very well. Can she join the group and make it an even dozen? Does she have the luck of the Irish? Certainly no worry in their face over 1 and 2.
It's a little wide to the plank, and it paid the price. It's got a little drifty there. And
Gymnastic for this rider and horse.
see how it comes out of this red turn.
Say whoa. Just a 4 false score. Down in front of our Great American Insurance Executives, our generous sponsors for this million, the second leg of the Triple Crown. Here's the last for the Irish lady. She scores just 4.79, 174, and that is the fastest 4 falter.
Just got a little drifty coming to that plank. You know, she went inside, and I don't think he put his mind on it until 2 strides away. She had to kind of take what she could get.
It did not look that fast. Today's event is also being brought to you by Ride TV Sports on Ride TV Go video platform, showcasing the horse culture and lifestyle. Ride TV Go delivers live broadcast streaming and a great selection of on-demand video content for people who enjoy and care about horses. You can get a free 7-day trial when you sign up at ridetvgo.com. Hunter Holloway, one of the youngest riders in our field. This is Casavell, her mount out of Kansas for Hayes Investment Corporation, a 10-year-old Holsteiner gelding. She was a winner plus 4 times a money earner and 2 wins in 2016. I believe she won her first Grand Prix at the age of 14.
Yeah, 13 or 14. She was quite young.
Stands about 6'2".
Between her and her mother, I think they've won all the Grand Prix that have been won by people from Kansas.
Indeed.
I think that's safe to
Indeed,
say.
that is safe to say. I would say they have a great business. Her mother is coming up in another few horses on another of the great horses out of the Hayes Investment Group. So yeah, this is the best that Kansas has, and they do quite well. She's also, for her height, one of the best equitation riders that has come out of the Midwest.
About 6'4", isn't she, Mike? She's a tall girl.
She's a good tall young lady, 6'2", maybe 6'3", tall for a young lady. Be drafted by the WNBA, maybe.
Very stylish rider. She was very competitive in all of the equitation
No,
finals.
I've judged her in the equitation before. And she's
Oh, had the front rail
very
down there.
good.
wound up winning the medal on her mother's
Big
Grand Prix horse.
We haven't seen much action there. And there as a double. 12 faults quickly for Hunter. At a show in Tulsa, to give you an idea how tough this girl is, she falls down with her horse in an equitation class. That night, she rides this horse in the Grand Prix. Afterwards, they find out she broke her shoulder in the fall earlier.
A little bit of tough luck today. She winds up with
Yeah.
20 faults. Good ball score.
20 faults. A tough girl. Really didn't show her talent that well today. The jumps didn't, but she is quite a good rider. Quite a good rider. Devin Ryan comes up next. A 10-year-old Dutch gelding is her mount. Cooper, owned by Devin Ryan, out of Long Valley, New Jersey. She won the Johnson Horse Transportation Welcome Stake here. And
Devin's a he,
Ocala.
Mike.
Uh-oh. He's not going to like me about that. 4 times hits money earner here in 2017. And I apologize, Mr. Ryan.
He's had a really he's moved up the ranks fairly quickly. I remember watching him ride in Mississippi a couple of years ago in those smaller Grand Prix out there, and now to come here and do well, I think is a testament to his riding ability.
The Gulfport Series.
Yep.
Very active crowd today, and a huge crowd. Things going his way now, up to fence number 6. Make sure that he squares up there, preparing for the gymnastic triple.
He sends this horse pretty much. I mean, he doesn't take a lot of prisoners. He should be tough in the jump off. Naturally fast one.
Wide on the turn, but plenty of time. Got to rub out of the D element of that combination.
2 away.
Yeah, 2 away from a clear score. Looks like it might happen here for Cooper. And missed it. Devin Ryan. Becomes the 12th to complete the course without penalty. What a jump off we're going to have. I think the crowd is going to be insane for the jump off. It's going to be like a real treat with a dozen so far, possibly more to come. Could come out of our next Upi Deli, a 16-year-old Dutch Arabian cross owned by Chuck and Dana Waters, winner of a Smart Pack Grand Prix, plus 3 additional money earning efforts turned in by 21-year-old Haley Waters.
Mom and Dad both in the horse business, and her dad's doing the gate for us today.
Yes, that was wonderful to see Chucky Waters, belonging to our Sacred Heart Club, join us to take care of the interviews at the gate.
This horse, originally Sharon Wardley brought up to this country, but had quite a bit of success with Andy Coker, and Haley, they bought him this fall for Haley. She went out and won one of her first Grand Prix with the first ride on it. Nice horse.
Strangely bred.
This is really a sweet kid and going to become a real competitor at this level.
A dozen clear. Mike Moran here alongside Dennis Mitchell, Ocala, Florida, and the second leg of the HITS Triple Crown of Show Jumping, brought to us by Great American Insurance Company, America's premier equine insurer.
Into the stick inside there, Mike, and got it done.
Up there, this could be our youngest jump-off player if she can pull this off.
He's getting a little strong. That's kind of paid the price there. You could tell coming out of that line, he just got a little flat.
However, looking at the possibility of a very fast four faults, she could be. Well, now it's at 8 faults. She would have been the second fastest four, but now 8 faults in 79.764.
I know she's got to be a little disappointed, but at this level, I think she rode great.
A very good job. I love it when the family's completely immersed in the sport.
Chucky, a Grand Prix rider himself, along with his mom. Her mom, Dana Tripp, a veterinarian, was national champion in the amateur owners for 3 years in a row.
Finau 4 is our next, an 11-year-old Hanoverian gelding owned by Thinks Like a Horse and Don Stewart out of here in Ocala. Aaron Vale is aboard. Aaron has 163, I believe it is, 163 victories. He's won over $4.5 million in his career. On this particular horse, a couple of prizes garnered on the 2017 campaign. But his career started early, and a testament to Dennis Mitchell, who's sitting next to me. This boy won the Puissance in Texas at 12 years old on the great thoroughbred mare Tin Lizzie.
And I tell people I never taught Aaron anything. I just gave him a lot of horses to ride, and he does think like a horse. He's a freak and a good guy.
He's ridden Don Stewart's horse to the win twice in the $500,000 Diamond Mills Hunter Prix at the conclusion of the big circuit in Saugerties, New York, on the HITS campaign, richest hunter event in the world. But in a lesser pursed Grand Prix, it's not uncommon to see Aaron ride 5 to 7 horses.
Oh, it's not for lack of work. He's a hard worker, and he loves every minute of it. He's a guy that just loves to be in attack.
Three away from the jump off. Would become the 13th. We'd have a baker's dozen. Been good for Aaron Vale. Time is not going to be a factor, and he's in there.
Great ride.
No
Both,
5 and 6.
both he and Todd, I think, I'm very proud of both of them being the jump off. That was well done.
So a baker's dozen thus far for the jump off. Now here's Call Me Hannes, an 11-year-old Holsteiner gelding owned by the Harlow Investment Enterprises, David Beisel of Goshen, Ohio. Smart Pack winner here on the HIT circuit in Ocala. A lot of victories to the credit of Mr. Beisel. Call Me Hannes, 11-year-old Holsteiner gelding, 43rd of 49, and 13 clear for the jump off at this point.
David's always a crowd favorite, another athletic rider. Had a little stallion here a couple of years ago. Everybody was cheering for. This horse, he's brought along slowly, but it looks like it's going to maybe culminate in a good trip today.
David Beisel now joins us aboard the 11-year-old Holsteiner gelding. It's Call Me Hannes.
You have to call him the leading Ohio rider in Grand Prix competition.
And actually, you know, I said that about Kansas. He was originally from Kansas, so he might be.
Ouch. No, that didn't last long. Behind legs and the hind rail doing battle at fence number 2, fence 1. Eight faults. Pretty close to, if you don't have a fast 4, you will not get a check today.
You can see his athleticism through there. Kind of wished him over those 4 jumps in a row.
I think 82-322 with 4 faults is our 20th position. That is unofficial. It is official that he won't be in the jump off, nor will he be in the top 20.
Well, a couple of rails coming down early.
An 8-fault score, 83-7-59. It looks like the 4 faulters, and this is unofficial. In the 14th spot, it would be Kingdom, then Evening Star, Bongiorno, Shorapur, Ladriano Z, Ace, and Siska Ovaries. Those are unofficial results. Here is the 44th, Fedor. Southern Cross Equestrian Center of Riddick, Florida, the owners here. 12-year-old Belgian gelding, winner of the Turf Rider Grand Prix. Scott Keach is aboard. He was the 2016 winner of the $100,000 City of Ocala event.
Scott represented Australia in the Rio Olympics and was great in the first round. I think he was clear, and then he had a bit of a problem with the water in the second round. Unfortunate stop, and he dismounted involuntarily. But had a career, one of the few riders that's ridden in the Olympic Games in both 3-day and show jumping.
Quite a feat, indeed.
Wound up about, I think, 15 years. He rode in Sydney 3-day and then Rio in show jumping. Another quite a stylish rider, really good horse trainer. Not today,
Fortunately, bitten by 7B. You can see the 3-day in his style. The crowd is hungry for the jump off.
I was hoping for a good round from Scott. He lives right up the street from me in Riddick, so he's a neighbor.
Well, he's not had a bad round. 82-170.
That's 20th. He slides into the money, huh?
Yeah, he does actually. 82-120. Fedor. He's in the 20th spot right now.
And here comes the mother of Hunter Holloway, Brandy Holloway.
Winningest Grand Prix rider in Kansas history. This is Lucky Strike. 11-year-old Holsteiner gelding, winner of a Smart Pack event, second in the Turf Rider event, and third in New York last year at the Socrates event. Hayes Investment Corporation of Auburn, Kansas. Lucky Strike. Will he live up to that name today?
The plank's got him.
Well, that's unfortunate. Toto will have to go back to Kansas empty-handed after this.
This horse comes a little untrained around the corners, and I think that's what happened to him at the plank. In fact, just a little unrideable coming in there. eight
Second
faults.
rail here for Lucky Strike. So it's going to be a dozen here for the big jumper.
break that
Lucky
last
Strike,
one.
Randy Holloway out of the Kansas area, Topeka, and Hayes Investment Group. Total of 12.
And that's usually not the case for the Holloway family. They're usually contenders. That's too bad. They had a bad day.
Isabella Lapierre is our next to work from Levi, Quebec, Canada. She's aboard Sesha M, a 10-year-old Dutch mare. 2 times a $50,000 winner here on the hit circuit. 5 times a money earner in addition to those 2 victories.
And if she happens to go clear, she will take no prisoners in the jump off, Mike. Very fast rider.
Petite. Petite rider from Quebec. Making it look easy so far. Making a turn to number 6. Triple combination coming up,
She rode right at the triple,
didn't she?
and for good reason. She needed a little help there in the middle.
Yeah, this is not the huge combination of horse and rider. It doesn't look like a very big horse when you consider the size of Miss Lapierre. So I think she had to do a little boot scooting to get through that triple combination. However, fearless.
She's aggressive and stylish at the same time. Really a forward rider.
So she's a 4-faulter, and here might be, if the clock, 79, we'll check that time. She might have been the fastest 4-faulter.
So you can see that approach to 7A with the forward gallop cost her at B, but I think she was kind of determined to make there. He just kind of lost his hind end.
If the
He
time
just got a little bit
stands,
of a
that's
hurry.
the fastest 4.
That's too bad. She was aggressive all the way around, but maybe a little too aggressive coming to 7A. Paid for it at B.
Well, we're beginning to close in on the end of our 49-horse field. Here's the 47th in the order. It's Charming Force B, a 10-year-old Dutch mare. Kim Farlinger Stables Limited out of Cedar Valley, Ontario, Canada. 32-year-old Kim Farlinger's aboard. Twice a money earner here on the Hits campaign in 2017. Many more excellent performances in her native Canada.
And in the jump off last week, Mike, for 100,000, she was 4 seconds faster than the closest competitor. And there was some fast ones in there. This horse can really gallop when it's in the jump off.
Charming Force B. Euro Quaff. Not a big horse either.
No. But really quick, got a lot of ground speed. When she drops the reins, he will gallop. You know, I think that $100,000 victory gave her a little confidence. Ooh, she's really fast to the vertical.
A little bit of a wild and crazy ride.
And it's paid the same price as Lapierre there, just a little too much speed coming in.
I don't know that speed always translates to scope. Even though that looks like this one, not the one before, needed to have that extra pace in order to get the job done with this one.
Well, I don't think Kim has a lot of choice once she
No.
makes the turn. But it works its feet fast. It was good there coming out of after aggressive ride at the wall. Left one out there.
It's going to be a fast 4. 78 is the fastest 4 faulter so far. And we just saw the fastest 4 faulter right there.
But it's similar to her jump off round last week. She was
789.
2 seconds faster there. She was 4 seconds.
Charming
faster
Force
to jump
B jumping in there. She's in the 14th spot.
So you see, the horse kind of got a little more rapid after this vertical, and she was kind of determined to keep going forward. A little too much gas coming in over 7A, and consequently 7B comes down.
Here's the penultimate performer. This is MTM Rive du Paradis. Cell Francais gelding owned by the MTM Farm of Flower Mound, Texas. $2.9 million accumulated by our rider here, Tracy Fenney. On the great Centano for the MTM Farm, she accumulated 39 wins. This one's had 2 wins already here. 6 times money earners in addition to the 2 victories.
Her and her husband run a big operation. Unfortunately,
Can you
the
believe
first
that?
job.
Hard to believe that.
Whoa, cut right inside.
Trying to be the fastest 4.
And
And she'll be an 8. I wouldn't be surprised if she pulls up.
yep.
Yeah. So that's unfortunate for the winningest rider in Texas history. We're down to the last, and the last is the winner from Thermal in the AIG Million. This is Milano, a 12-year-old Swedish gelding owned by Abigail Weiss of Rancho Santa Fe, California, also a winner of the Smart Pack here. And she was the winner of the Million, handily did it. Mandy Porter is aboard. Mandy Porter started her career in the East Bay of San Francisco, went on as a junior to ride with Graham Thomas, went on after that to a European career in Italy and other countries and did quite well, came back from Europe, was a rider for Barbara Ellison's Wild Turkey Farm, putting together a lot of big victories, including the $100,000 Del Mar Grand Prix on the Great Gray Jumper Summer, and then all of a sudden explodes with Milano. Second leg of the Triple Crown. If she could win, the Triple Crown would still be alive.
She's the only one who can win the Triple Crown at this point.
That's right, and he's never ridden a meter 60 before. So we're seeing something that you don't usually see. He's stepping way up in height.
There's the first meter 60 jump. He jumped that easy.
Yeah, and Mandy, just such a great hand. Quiet, soft, and lucky.
Beautiful position in the air. Their upper body control is unbelievable.
Wonderful rider. Wonderful rider. And a very nice young lady.
Gymnastic for him through there.
She was just explosive and unbelievably exciting in the jump off in the AIG and Thermal. Whoa. Whoa. Well, she's taking her time, but I think she knows she's got some time. This
Smart ride here.
Yeah. This being the real test, that combination here. Not that these are free by any stretch of the imagination, but she's riding it beautifully.
Here we go. Triple Crown
And
is
there,
alive.
the Triple Crown is in fact alive, well, and breathing in Milano. Mandy Porter.
And the meter 60 looked like it was no problem for him. And
Yeah, the horse was fabulous, easily within the time. Okay, she's 14th to go in the jump off. It's a great position to be in, but there's a lot of speedsters and talent in front of her. She'll have to attain that goal if she wants to stay on top of the triple crown of show jumping.
But that last slot is always the one you want if you're a fast
Absolutely,
horse.
catbird seat, and this is just the way the victory unfolded in California. She was last to go in the jump off, or one of the last near the end to go in the jump off, and smoked the time beautifully.
There should be a lightning fast jump off with who's in it and the numbers. Everybody's going to go for it. I don't think you see anybody going for just a double clear. Everybody's going to try for the win.
So just about 10 minutes is what you'll expect to see between rounds here tonight.
Looks like unofficially the Irishman Kevin Babington and Shorapur were the 20th to compete, or to that will be awarded in our final standings. He was a four faulter is an 81.144. Of course, all that'll be checked by the jury. And now the job of the crew and Werner Dieg to prepare for the jump off.
Taking a jump or two out here, adding ones that we haven't jumped before.
This will give the crowd a good moment to relax, refresh themselves for a few moments. I'm sure that they'll drag the ring after they get the jumps put in the proper position as well. So it gives